Broadcast the rhythm. Go live, Vegas on the screen, feeling the flow, so pristine. Boom, as the beats align, electric dreams, they intertwine.
Rock ukulele in a spin, talking life's wild jive, sipping on wisdom with a grin. Midlife mischief keeps it live. Laughs and stories, cheers all around. Raise a glass where wisdom's found. With a sip of truth.
I have menopause.
Profound. The jokes and tales by the fire's glow, discussing changes the season show.
Hello. I am so sorry we are late. But if you are watching, we are live. My name is Raquel Kornielakis. That is Lynn Dula. And you have accidentally stumbled upon Midlife Mischief. Welcome. Sorry, we're late. We've been having a week.
Yes, stumbled is apt. It definitely is.
So how are you? How is your week?
Have an advocate for your
Girl, I am tired.
Aw.
Okay, let's start there. Well, Aaron went back to school today.
Okay.
I had to drive him back. It should have been maybe round trip. It should have been 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
It ended up being more like 6.
Is he in New York as well?
Let's work together.
No, he's in Richmond.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, that's pretty fast for New York. Wow.
He's in Richmond, which is only an hour and 15 minutes from our house.
Okay.
And today, because of an overturned semi-truck on the interstate, it added like an hour and some change to our trip. Are you hearing something?
I am.
Something.
Is it?
Okay.
That was actually Yum Yum.
Oh, that was Yum Yum's fault. I'm so sorry. Yum Yum. Grr. Where is he anyway? He's in here somewhere. So there was an overturned semi-truck on the freeway?
Yeah, so it blocked the road. So we had to sit in traffic.
Oh.
You know, that type of thing. And then on the way back, a freak storm happened, lots of rain, people can't drive, can't see in front of you more than, you can't even see the taillights in front of you. It's so terrible.
Oh no.
People are pulling over to the side of the road, putting their flashes on because they can't drive in their downpours, and somebody had an accident on the way back. So it's been a day. And the whole way I just had a really bad headache.
I feel you.
Completely.
I understand.
Yeah. So it kind of summed up my week, to be honest with you. Today summed up my entire week.
Okay, we're done. Thank you for joining us in Midlife Mischief. We'll see you next Sunday.
You know what? I wanted to ask you about Tink last week, and I kept forgetting. So tell me, how is Tink?
Okay, we actually do have news on that, and I forgot to talk about it. We had to relocate Tink. Now, I don't know whether I should mention the name of where she was, but I think I already did. She was at Blue Compass, and they've had her since the 2nd of December. and have done nothing. So about 2 weeks ago, when we started talking to our insurance agent, started calling us and asking us what was going on, because he said he was getting one story, we were getting another story, so he just wanted to confirm what was going on. And we ended up just, he said, you know what, I'll call you back in about a half an hour and let you know where we're going to go from here. And we said, okay, fine. So he did, called us back, and he said, okay, I want you guys to go and get her. You're relocating her to Johnny Walker, which is another RV place just down close to us. I've already talked to them. They have no problem doing everything, and you should have everything done pretty quick. So that's exactly what we did. But believe it or not, they're still calling us from the first place, asking us to go and sign papers because they say that, you know, that we could have left her there, and they apologize and blah, 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 but too little too late. I mean, come on, from the 2nd of December until, well, basically the 2nd of March, pretty much was what it was. So and that's a little bit ridiculous. They did nothing, absolutely nothing. And she was out in the lot, so and they didn't cover anything. And the front window is all smashed in, which means now the inside of the trailer. Fortunately, we haven't had any rain. Well, we have now, but we didn't up till that point. But we have had a lot of dust storms, and the inside is completely filthy. So Johnny Walker's has promised me that they will detail the inside before we get her back. But we've seen her a couple times since then. I'm much happier. They have all the pieces. They have all the parts. They arrived from 2 hours away. Do you believe that? 2 hours away. We could have gone, picked up the stuff ourselves, brought it back. But these people kept telling us they were ordering it from China. And when we told the new guy that, he couldn't stop laughing, RV. And we just stood there, and I'm like, I thought that was kind of odd, considering New Camp is made in Ohio.
Yeah. I borrowed it off a buddy of mine. He took my house. I took the RV.
So all of the parts come from Ohio, but there is a dealership, a big dealership in St. George, Utah, that also has a lot of the supplies and the parts that you need. So we could have gone and picked them up and brought them back, and we would have had her before Christmas. So that's where we are.
Did they say what the reason was? Did they say why they haven't, other than the part situation, why they hadn't done anything?
No, they didn't give us any explanation. None.
Okay.
They were very angry that we took her. I mean, I'm pretty sure nobody from there is watching this show, but if they are, oh well, too bad. They're apologizing and backpedaling now because they lost out on money. I mean, it was a big claim. It was a big insurance claim. It was guaranteed to be paid. You know, there was, all they had to do was do their job and fix it. And apparently that was just too much. So I don't know whether they were backed up. I don't want to make excuses for them. I do not recommend taking your vehicle there. I'm sorry. I usually don't say things like that. However, in this case, 3 months is a very long time to get a window. That's all I'm saying. So hopefully we will have her all fixed up and back for the next First Friday, so we can get that done.
Yeah, how are those coming out? How are they going?
Good. We actually have some news with that. Aaron, what is that thing called that we were just accepted to?
Oh, we're now official TikTok agents.
We are now, Lynn, we are now an official TikTok agency at Go Live Vegas. Yes.
What?
I know. I love that look on your face.
Okay, but what does that mean exactly?
Tell her we'll send her a code. We'll help her get her TikTok going.
We will send you a code because you are going to have to take your TikTok to the next level. Sorry, but And it means that Aaron and I have some studying to do this week, and we have to take an exam, and then we get certified, and then Go Live Vegas will be an agency for TikTok. And for people who are learning to do things, or people who need a place to, when they're in Vegas, if they need a place to do a podcast, or they need somebody to film something, or they need some advice, or they need some help, say they're doing something but they need a co-host, or just advertising, they need somebody to help them advertise, whatever it is, we are the ones that they're going to be calling now. So yay!
Nice.
Yay! I was going to message you that, but then I thought, no, I wanted to see your face when I told you. So we're going to up our game a little bit.
That is awesome.
It's going to be a lot more work, but I think it'll be worth it in the end. So yay! Yay! Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Congratulations.
Thank you. Well, I mean, you'll be part of it too. So, this is what, if you can, I don't know if you can see that, but this is a QR code that people are going to be scanning, and then they'll be able to get all the information from there. So, yay. Yahoo.
Got it.
Oh, and we had 13,000 likes on TikTok last week, Lynn.
I saw you. You sent me a message, and I was like, what is she talking about? Like,
Yeah. What's she talking about? I know.
Go Live Vegas?
On what was it for? It was for this podcast. And it was on our
Really?
Yep, it was for our I know. How many people liked our show? Who knew?
I'm sorry.
I know. It's a bit silly.
It just seems like it just seems like we're out here in the desert.
We're out here and nobody's listening. I know.
Yeah, nobody's listening. We're just talking to each other, girl chat on Sundays. Nothing,
Apparently
nothing to
people
see
like
here.
that. Apparently people like that. You know what it is? I think it's people like to eavesdrop. They're nosy. People are nosy, so they like to listen. And when we thought nobody was listening, the problem last week, we didn't have anybody commenting not because they weren't watching, but it was because something happened with the comment sections all over the place. And,
It's fixed now.
it was down, but it is fixed now. So if anybody is watching now, I don't know if they're watching now because we're so late, but if you are watching, you can comment. You can call in. We'll answer you. Aaron, can we fix this TV over here? And over there? Okay. Sorry. We have weird screens on the TV. I know, but could we? Okay. So that was part of my week too. I can't talk about the rest of my week because that also involves insurance and lawyers. So I can't talk to you about that, but I will talk to you about it afterwards. So I've had a week. I've had a week.
You have. No, you haven't had a week.
I've
You've
had a year. You were right. Yeah. No, you told me that, and I was like,
You've
yeah.
had a year.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was nice, honey. Thank you for
Hopefully
triggering
it
that.
gets better. Hopefully you got all of your crap in the beginning of the year, so the rest of it is just smooth sailing.
You're funny. I wish it worked that way, but
kind of spread out.
yeah, I don't think it works that way. I'm getting
It might.
no. I mean, I
It
got
kind of works that way for me with my kids. Like I got with my oldest, he was a terror all the way up into middle school.
okay.
And once he got to middle school, he did a 360, honey, and I didn't even know who he was. And we were questioning him for like a year. Like, who are you? What did you do with Jaden? Like, we just, the teachers were saying how great he was and how respectful he was. And we're like, who are you talking about? because you're not talking about
This
him.
one?
No, seriously, it was crazy. It was crazy. But you know what? He has been like the model citizen ever since.
Huh.
We have no issues with this child.
But you
None.
don't know. You don't
Other
know
than
what.
him.
You don't know what happened to do the turnaround. No, just
I'll be honest with you. I just really think prayer works
okay.
because
Okay.
I was like, if he's gonna be this bad, please let him be this bad now while he's like before he becomes a teenager. And then once he becomes a teenager, I shouldn't have to deal with this. Because I think I got all of that teenage drama in elementary school
Okay.
with him.
Okay.
He was horrendous. He was horrendous in elementary. He was so bad. I had to become a member, like a board member of the PTA, so I could be admitted to school, to be in the school with him on a regular basis, just to kind of helicopter mom his
Okay.
antics. Like I needed to be on site for him
Wow.
all the time. That's how bad he was. It was, yeah.
Wow.
And middle school, complete turnaround.
Girls.
Great kid now.
It's girls. He discovered girls.
I was hoping I was hoping that would be the case, but you know, even when they discover girls, some of them lose their minds.
Well, yeah.
They sneak out the house and want to
Yeah.
go doing all the things. Nope. So I dodged the bullet.
Yeah.
So it could listen. Your year can be like Jaden's turnaround.
It could. Sure. Anything's possible. Yeah.
Oh God.
I don't know what it is.
Listen.
I think actually that I'm getting everybody's bad karma because maybe I'm an empath, so I'm just taking everybody's negative stuff and I'm handling it myself because maybe I can. Maybe I can't. It hasn't stopped me yet. It has not, no matter what has happened, it has not stopped me or slowed me down. So, you know, I mean, maybe that's why
No, you handle it like a G. You handle it like yeah.
I don't have a choice. I don't remember being given a choice. So I have to because you have to keep going forward. And I think if you have a sense of humor and you understand how faith works, you have a sense of humor and you understand that you have to just keep going forward, it's really all you can do. So, I mean, maybe this is just one big test and maybe you're right. Maybe something good is coming. But right now, I just keep taking the hits and I really am tired of it. I've had enough. I've had enough. However, if this is what I have to do to get to the better part, then I'll do it. That's okay. That's okay. I'll do it.
I mean, I have to say, I haven't had a week nowhere near like some of the weeks you had. Like I have not experienced it.
I really wish I could talk about my week. I really wish so that people would understand exactly how much it has just been piling on one thing after another.
Listen,
but it's, I mean,
I get it.
I
get it. I just, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're a good one. You're a good one. I just sat back the other day when we talked. I just sat back and I was like, my
Shit.
God, this woman.
Yeah. You know, it's at the point where I call my parents now and they're not shocked anymore with anything. And I keep saying, you know, how come you don't call me more? You don't seem concerned. Is it because like you have 3 other kids? Is that what it is? And they just laugh and they say, no, it's because you have gone through so much crap that and you've handled it that we just don't worry about you anymore. I'm like, but that's not okay. You still have to care. Like,
Oh my
They're like, well, you know.
Oh,
And I do it sober most of the time. Not always. I'm not going to lie. Not always. And I was going to take an edible
Girl.
before I did this show tonight because I have one hell of a headache.
girl.
But I didn't. So, sober. This is coffee. I am sober. Whew. So.
I'm not.
But I need to talk about this for a second. Right here. Can you see this? Aaron, can you zoom in here for a second? No?
Your hair. You know what? I noticed that when your hair was loose. Well, you had the ponytails earlier.
Yeah.
The braids. What is going on?
Do you
is
see
it breaking off? Or did you cut
No.
it?
No. And my hairdresser just laughs at me. Do you know what it is? I am growing more hair. This happens overnight. It just sprouts out of my head in little tufts overnight. It's not breakage at all. Because I've asked my hairdresser, I'm like, what the hell is happening? Like you can see it. I can see it in the monitor right here. These little pieces, just teeny tiny little pieces.
So most people's hairline recede.
Yeah.
Yours is coming forward.
Yeah. Well, it's not coming forward. It's just I get
Where's the hair growing from? Where is it growing from? I don't see any empty spaces there. So
this is what I'm saying. There are no empty spaces for it to be growing from. It just does that. Yeah. This is apparently part of menopause, hormonal changes. It did this when I was pregnant as well. And it just...
Oh, my God.
Do you want to hear something funny, though? I have a twin brother who's bald.
Oh, you're getting his hair.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
He's bald.
Yeah.
He's
that twin connection.
He's bald.
That twin connection.
Yeah.
You're getting his hair.
Maybe.
You are.
Maybe. I
believe that.
I have his attitude, so maybe I'm getting his hair.
I think all the hair that he has lost is now coming to you, and it's just popping in different spots. That's
Maybe.
You're getting his hair.
This is another part of menopause, apparently. Well, they say that you grow more hair. They don't specify where exactly you get it. So instead of getting it on my chin, I get it here.
I am losing hair, not on my head yet. Thank you, Jesus. Not yet. But I am losing hair everywhere else. Like I am balding everywhere else.
I am too.
Yeah. I can't say that I'm getting hair.
Well, see, now there's the conundrum right there is I am also like on my legs. I don't have to shave my legs more than once, like maybe once a month. And even then, I don't even think it's necessary because there's not a lot there. But I don't seem to be. Yeah, no, I don't seem to be growing hair. No. My armpits, I don't have to shave my armpits.
Me neither. I used to have like the hairiest legs, and I used to hate going to get the waxings and all the things. But honey, I gotta say that's a perk to menopause. It's the loss of the body hair. I love it. Like my arms, I don't have that much hair on my arms anymore.
Nope.
They used to be so hairy, like a little carpet growing or something.
Really?
Yeah, I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was hairy.
Oh.
I was super hairy. Hated it. Spent way too much money on wax.
No, that's last week we found a silver lining. What was it? Now I've forgotten what it was. I didn't write it down. Aaron, do you remember? Do you remember, Lynn? What the hell was it? Couldn't have been that great if I don't remember.
Look, the way my brain fog is set up, I don't remember anything. Okay.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Is anybody out there that was watching last week? If you remember what my silver lining was, let me know. Rena, are you there? Are you out there? I don't know. I told her I was going live. So there's we might not remember what it was, but there was one. So now there's 2 silver linings. 2. That's 2 so
Two
far.
silver linings.
2 of them. It does not outweigh all the other ones that are just. Do you know I was told that that one of my issues that I have at the moment, because of this other thing that I can't talk about, is heat. Waves of heat. Your body temperature raises. And I
hate wave.
I'm just like, that's fantastic. That's just fantastic. Thank you. Because I need to be overheated. I am sitting here. We have the air conditioning on right now. It's cold outside, believe it or not. I'm not sure what the temperature is, but it is cold for Las Vegas. And we have the air conditioning on right now, and I am still using a fan because I can't cool down at all. I don't know how I'm going to make it through this summer. I really don't.
That was going to be my question. Like, what is your plan for the summer?
Well, our plan was to get. We are in the middle of having. I've got a cat for my nose. We are in the middle of installing solar, which is another thing. So when these things get piled on. Friday afternoon, Aaron got a message on his phone to say from the solar company who has already put. We have so far. We redid the roof because they said that the roof was too old, so we redid the roof. We redid the rafters on the inside of the roof because they wanted to make sure that the roof could hold the solar panels. And our house was built in 1973, so we had the rafters re-engineered and redone. We had an engineer come out at our expense and do a report, which is not cheap. And then we sent the report to them. They then had an engineer of their own come out and take a look. And then after that, they came out and they redid our electrical panel outside and we found out last year, all year, and the year before, our electric bill was about $900 a month. Well, we found out why. We found out that our house the electrical was not installed properly. It was not grounded at all. So the guy stood out there with the meter beside the new meter, or the old meter, and he held it up and he showed us, and sure enough, it was running on his meter. So in the air, he was not connected to anything. It was in the air. So for the past 2 years, every time I've put the air conditioning on, I have, you know how your parents used to say, 6 years, sorry. So when you're growing up and your parents say, shut the door because we're not heating wherever you come from. We're not heating or we're not cooling Las Vegas. We're not heating Las Vegas. Well, apparently we were. Literally cooling and heating Las Vegas. $900 worth every month. So he just started laughing and he said, well, here's where your electric bill's been going. It's just been going into the abyss. So he fixed that and he put in a new electrical panel at and we should be paying for that through the solar panel. We had to pay $400 for the man from NV Energy, which is Nevada Energy, come out and turn the electricity off. And then we had to, while they redid the electrical, and then when we wanted the electric back on, we had to pay another $400 for him to turn the electricity back on. Okay,
that's very expensive.
It is. And then They put in new. They had everything done. They had to redo and paint the side of the house where they had torn the old electrical out, put new electrical in. They grounded everything. And you know what my electric bill was after that? It was $100. That's it. From 900 to 100. Son of a bitch. Anyway, that was about 2 months ago. And now we're waiting. We've been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And now all of a sudden on Friday, we got a phone call that says your solar has been canceled. Would you like to know the name of the solar company that canceled everything after we had put that much money into redoing the roof, putting in new rafters, having the electrical redone, paying $900 a month? And I'm sorry, I'm going to have to start calling this a Raquel's rant that I do every week, but there's going to be one of these every week, I'm pretty sure, because this is what happens when you're in menopause and you're Irish. I am pissed off. Would you like to know the name of that company? Because I will tell you the name of that company. That company is Tesla.
Girl, stop playing.
I am not playing.
Stop playing.
Nope.
Tesla.
Tesla.
Like the car?
Yes. I need to take a picture of your face right now because if people are listening and not watching, they need to see Lynn's face right now. I just spat all over the microphone, so whoever's doing the show in the morning, I apologize. Sorry, Brett. Yes. So you want to tell me again how things keep piling on to me? That was Friday. Monday, we had the issue that I can't talk about. And then there were other things during the week. And then Friday, that's how we ended the week. And all I can do is laugh. Because now I have new electrical, I have a new roof, I have new everything. And I have no solar panels. And it's going to start getting hot in about 2 months, well, maybe even a month from now. I don't want to put my AC back on until I have solar because I don't know what's going to happen after, having a $900 bill for the last six years. I was really looking forward to, hot flashes and penguins running through my house.
What was the reason for the cancellation?
I'm sorry, what did you say? Huh?
What was the reason for the cancellation?
They've ghosted us, Lynn. We can't find out. There is absolutely no way. But we did do some research, and anyone else, feel free to do your research if you want to, because you won't find any information. The only thing you're going to find is that there are a lot of people straight across this country that are in the same situation we are in. Some people even have solar panels sitting in their backyard waiting for them to be installed.
So I'm going to ask this question, even though I think I know the answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Okay. Go ahead.
Is this Tesla the same?
Yes.
Tesla?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So.
Yes.
Wait. This may be an omen to the country right now. Wait. Hear me out.
Okay.
Because it's gonna start a bunch of crap, cause a lot of chaos, and then realize halfway through this crap ain't working. I'm out. And just disappear. Well,
if anybody has any information, I would love to hear it because I don't know. I do know that we have found out that there are a lot of people across the country, like I said, who are in the same position that we're in, that they're just getting notices that say canceled, but it doesn't give an explanation.
The country is going to get a notice soon enough. We're all going to get a notice that says your whole lifestyle has been canceled. Okay. Listen, all the stuff that I just took from you, all the things I have already started to, dissemble in the whole government. You know what? I'm tired. I'm done. I'm out. Deuces. We're not going to see him anymore. He's just going to disappear in the ether. And we're going to be sitting here looking foolish, trying to figure out how to undo all the crap he's done. This is an omen. I'm telling you, you're letting us know
But
what
why
to
me?
expect.
Why
Like,
me? I don't.
because you
I drive a
because you have
Volkswagen.
13,000 followers.
I
You
drive
got
a
13,000
Volkswagen.
likes.
Damn it.
You got 13,000 likes. And so you're going to spread the word. And we're all going to realize if you can't even complete a solar panel job, sir,
I know.
how are you
Isn't
going to
that
run?
crazy though? Well, they're not getting. I'm not giving them money back.
No.
I am not giving them money back.
It's not crazy.
And at
It's
least
not
I have a
crazy.
sturdy roof. So now, if anybody has any information on a solar company that would like to give us some information, I would love to hear it.
We need a good solar
comment,
company
DM
to
me.
chime in.
Yeah, DM me, send me a message. Smoke signals, I don't care.
Girl.
Whatever. Yeah.
This is hilarious to me. I am
For
so
you,
sorry.
I'm
that this
glad
is so
I'm
funny.
glad I can provide this entertainment for you every week. I
I
really
mean,
am.
just the fact that it's Tesla. Like, if you think about it, look at all the things that he's touched that's broken. Like the rocket that went up in the air, just you know, like all the cars that are falling apart and can't be charged anymore when it gets cold. Like, I'm sorry. I just think this is the norm for that brand. I think the brand has this is how they conduct business. This is the
Listen,
norm
if you
for
knew
them.
my husband, you would know why we went with Tesla. And it's not because it's some fancy ass solar or because of anybody that owns it. It's because it was the cheapest one that was available and gave us the best interest rate, which is how they duped just about everybody. It was the
Exactly.
best deal.
You get what you pay for.
It was the best
You
deal.
get what you pay for.
Well, apparently we do.
Still.
Yeah. Which is why I drive a
I just
Volkswagen
did not know he was.
and not
I didn't
a
know he did
Tesla.
solar panels.
Yes, and our Volkswagen, by the way, is electric, and we love her. And she's a lovely car.
It's not a Tesla though.
No, it is not, and I will never drive one. I drive it, and she apparently is a very, very safe car. Thank you. We love her so much because she protected us and she kept us safe. So that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. So now we're going to get new. So we're at this stage, though, that it irritates me more than anything because we're at the stage where the only thing left is the installation. Like, that's it. Everything else is ready to go.
Well, I mean, isn't there a service that goes along with the installation though? Once they install it, is there a service that goes along with it?
No.
No.
That's the other reason that we picked it because we don't we don't have to we're not held accountable to anybody for anything that we do with it once it's on the roof. So it was a set charge that we would pay every month, and we didn't have to sell it back to NB Energy or anybody else. It was ours, and we had two panels, two of the solar panels that were going to go up the banks, the charging station type of things were going to go up, and therefore we would be able to just cycle through two of them instead of just one. Two power walls. That's what it is. So we wouldn't have to switch over to electric at nighttime and then back and forth, which is what most solar companies make you do, so that the energy company still makes money. Well, after being charged $900 a month, we really weren't into that. We didn't want to do it anymore. So we looked for something that would allow us to have the flexibility. And this was one of the only solar companies that allowed us to do that at the rate that they had it at. Now, apparently, here's the catch. We can cancel it ourselves. They've canceled it, but we can now call back and cancel it and reapply and have it and start all over again. But the rate will be higher. That's where they get you. I think that's what they're doing. That's their plan.
Why would you do that though?
I don't
Why
know.
would you why would you reapply and start all over again
Well, some people
with the
will.
company that canceled you for no reason?
I guess it depends on why you got it in the first place. Maybe there's people who are fans of this particular company and they really want it. I don't want it that badly, and I don't really care about the company. I just cared about the rate that it was giving us. So
Yeah.
I'm not doing it, but I do think that there are people out there that will reapply and they will get it done at a higher rate. So maybe that's part of the plan.
Can anyone install these panels that you've been left with?
Probably.
Are they yours
well,
now?
We don't
Are
have
they
the
still the
panels.
property of Tesla?
We don't have them.
Oh, you never got the panels?
No, they were going to show up the day after the electrical was done and put them up, but they never showed up.
Oh.
And then they didn't.
Oh.
They stopped answering us, and it's taken almost 2 months to get this answer, and the answer was we're canceled. Yeah, so just. That's 2 companies I've mentioned in one podcast to stay away from so far. I'll keep you updated on what's next. I don't know. You never know. On the positive side, I found a new recipe for bread that I will send you that will blow your mind. Because now I'm eating carbs and I don't care.
What a transition that was. Okay.
I know. This recipe for bread, it tastes like donuts. It's so good.
Really?
Oh, I've made it. I made it on Friday, and then I also made it again yesterday, with one hand.
You're supposed to be sending me.
I know the chili recipe. I haven't.
What was
written
it?
down.
Was it not just that? It was another bread that you made
Was it another one?
around the holidays. I think it was.
Really?
It wasn't sourdough. I think it was something else.
No,
A
I
different
haven't
kind of
jumped on
bread.
the sourdough bandwagon yet. I've thought about it, but that's too
No,
much.
it
That's
was
too
another
much for
bread.
me.
But you made it around the holidays. I was supposed to get that one, and now I want this other bread recipe.
Okay. Yeah.
I am the worst baker, and I am not a good baker.
Oh, this one it's a half hour. You only need
Oh.
it for 2 minutes instead of 10 minutes, and it only has to do 1 rise instead of 2, and it takes you less than an hour to do it. And
Oh,
yeah,
I should be able to handle that.
it's
Maybe.
so easy, really. It's foolproof. Yeah. It is.
I would be the fool to prove you wrong.
Well, no, I would never do that to you.
I cannot. I'm telling you, it's something with the yeast and myself. We just don't get along. I follow the directions, and I do exactly what it's telling me to do, and it just doesn't work for me.
As long as
I
you
don't
have
understand.
as long as you have warm water and yeast, maybe you're using the wrong yeast. There are different kinds.
You know, I've used so many different kinds of yeast, and none of them work.
Okay, well, I'll send you the recipe and we'll see. Actually, let me see. I might be able to send it to you right this minute while I'm talking to you.
I am just a horrible baker. So anyway, I can cook though. I just can't bake worth nothing. So I have to use things that are already like dummy proof, like Betty Crocker.
This one is
Duncan Hines.
pretty dummy proof. I promise you. Okay, so while I'm looking for this recipe to send to you, because otherwise I'll forget, something happened with Lauren this week that I didn't understand because we don't do this where I come from. So now you said you'd explain it to me. Go ahead.
So yes, she got a letter from NAM,
Okay.
NAM is the National American Miss Pageantry.
Okay.
So, in order for you to receive this invitation, and that's all it is, it's just an invitation.
Okay.
Um, to it's an invitation to an open call.
Okay.
Okay, so in order to get the invitation, someone who's already a part of the organization has to recommend you.
Okay.
And those recommendations are not taken lightly because you can't be like, I don't think you can be brand new into it. I think you have to be there for a little while before you can start recommending people. So,
Okay.
anyway, one of my clients um, recommended Lauren back in November, December timeframe. I
Okay.
was expecting to hear something by January. I never did. So I just thought, oh, well, maybe it wasn't accepted or whatever. And
Okay.
I moved on. I never tell the kids about anything that's coming. I wait until it actually happens, and then
Right.
I just spring it on them.
Yeah.
So even now, she doesn't know she got her letter. So
How come you haven't told her
I
yet?
haven't told her.
How come?
Because we don't. The open call is not until April.
Oh, okay.
She ain't gonna stress me out until then
Right.
about this thing. And if something happens between now and then, and for some reason she can't attend, that's a whole breakdown of nonsense that I don't want to deal with.
Okay.
Yeah. So I never tell the kids anything. I don't even tell them if we're going on a trip somewhere. I don't even tell them until it's time to go. Like, oh, guess what? We're going to such and such pack.
You know,
I don't do it.
Aaron and I did that to our kids when we took them to Florida to go to Disney World one year, and believe it or not, we managed to get them into the airport in San Antonio through all of the TSA into the airport with our suitcases and everything, all the way to the gate before we told them that we were going to Disney World. They had no idea. We
Wow.
told them we were going to a fancy ass shopping mall that we had to go through security to get to.
How old were they?
What year was that, Aaron? 2009. So Tegan would have been 9, and the twins 8, and Rory's 5. So
Okay, yeah,
they
it'll
weren't
work.
that
That'll
small,
work for
but I
them.
mean they were small enough that they trusted us enough
To
not to
believe
ask
to
too many
believe that you
questions.
guys wouldn't lie to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It helped that they're all blonde. Well, except Tegan, and she doesn't pay attention to a whole lot of detail. So
Uh-uh.
raising blonde
Yeah,
kids
so
was
I haven't
fun.
told her anything yet, but I'm excited for her. I'm excited
I am too. That's
um,
awesome.
for the opportunity. I am not excited about the prospect of her being accepted
How come?
um, because it's a lot of work.
Okay.
The pageant system, to my understanding, it becomes a lifestyle,
It does.
it's like if you're a soccer mom or if you're any type of sports mom and you follow your kids through those sports, throughout the years, this is basically on the same wavelength as far as commitment. So
Okay.
it's a big commitment, of your time and your finances
Yep.
and all that good stuff. So I'm
Yeah.
not looking forward to it.
Yes, you
But
are.
she's been I'm
She's your
not.
only. She's your only daughter.
Yeah, and I'm not looking forward to I'm not a girly girl.
Okay.
I'm and not to get me wrong, but I did stuff like that when I was her age. Like I modeled and stuff when I was her age and
Okay.
throughout my teen years. So I know I didn't do pageantry because I just wasn't into that. But I understand the girly girl aspect but I had it for a moment.
Right.
This is Lauren's everyday. This is who she is. She wants to be a doctor model.
Oh. Okay.
She wants to be a doctor,
And a model.
but she also and a model, a high fashion model. She feels
Okay.
like she can do both, and I think she can. I'm not going to
I
stand in her way.
I don't see why not. I
I don't see why not
do
either.
not see why not.
But those two things don't generally go hand in hand.
Um, I've seen some very attractive female doctors. However,
Yes, I have too.
are they taken seriously? I think is the question. Now, hopefully, by the time, I mean, she's only 12 now, so you've got to look at it that way. Maybe the world is going to change. And when I say the world, I mean the United States, because right now, let's face it, we are not exactly living in a female forward support kind of place. But maybe we're going to get there by the time she's ready to do it. Maybe. So that's
Yeah.
something we can
Oh,
hope for, right?
yeah. Look, if we're not where we need to be by the time she's about to go to college, I am not opposed to her going to another country to get her education, her college education. I'm not opposed to her going to university somewhere else. I'm open to that because I'd rather for her to get all that we fought for her to have and
Yeah.
get it somewhere else. We can give it to her here.
Right.
Like that's just, I don't want the demographic to hold her back in any way.
No, I get that. I get
So,
that.
yeah.
I have a daughter too. I get it. It's not easy. It's not easy. I mean,
No.
and if you sit and think about it, how long have we had female doctors in North America? Not very long, really. I had no
Yep.
idea because you just don't think about it.
We don't.
But it's less than what? It's about 50 years, maybe a little bit more now than 50 years, maybe 60 years.
Well,
Not long.
female female doctors that were acknowledged in the
Yes.
craft, in
Yes.
the career.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, if you
Yeah.
look back at
They've been around.
yeah.
Yeah, they've been around, but it was one of those careers that was shunned and not acknowledged for what it was.
What's that?
So
Is there a message coming in?
Yes.
Can we see it?
What?
What is it? Who said it? I'm sure Lynn can handle it. Oh, problem solver. Jesus Christ. Sorry, pardon my language. Trump put tons of females in leadership positions. Yeah, I bet he put them in a lot
only
of
so he can
positions.
screw them.
He put them in a lot of positions. Amazing, strong
That's
women.
Yeah, only so he can screw them.
Yeah.
That's all that they're worth to him.
I'm
He
sure
has
the
no respect
positions he put
at
them
all.
in were fantastic. That's wonderful.
Absolutely.
Thank you for sharing that.
Cheers to them.
Yeah. God bless
Hey.
them. There's a lot of women
Look.
that got their jobs that way. I didn't. That's not how I got any of my jobs, but some women do. And God bless them. If that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do.
And it's not to say that they didn't earn the right to be in those positions or that they're not educated to be in those positions, but him placing them in those positions was the biggest form of DEI I've ever seen in my life. Because
Amen, sister.
at the end of the day, you don't believe that they are capable. You truly don't believe that they're capable.
No.
You're just putting them there because you need to have ready access and unlimited access.
Yeah.
But
There
that's just
are
my
so
opinion.
many. I know David is trying to get us going on this because he thinks it's funny. And there are so many different directions that I can go with. I believe I sent you a meme a couple of days ago about the press secretary. Yeah, and how she got her job, because that one's obvious to me.
Yeah.
There are many positions that I'm sure she got herself into, and I'm not even going to say that she's smart enough to have gotten
Oh, and this one time
her job
at band camp?
anyway, other than a certain way. But I'm not going to lower myself to discuss that any further. Oh, but David is. Okay, David, go ahead. What you got? That's crazy to say that. These are educated women. Don't assume people are sleeping with the people. These are capable women. You can see it and hear it. Oh, I'm sure you can. I'm sure there's video footage
But he's
everywhere.
the one who said, grab him by the coochie.
Not funny, being
That's what
serious.
he
I'm
said.
being serious too, David. Sorry.
We are too.
Unfortunately, I'm one of your top podcast fans and watch you all the time. That's good. Then you'll understand that Lynn and I are both highly educated, and that's not how we got our jobs. But some women do. I just said that. So thank you for listening.
And David, I'm not saying that she's not educated. I'm not
Probably
saying that
is.
she's not capable. I am saying that the position was given to her not because of her capabilities, not because she was the best person for the job. No, that's not why she got it. In the story.
I wasn't there for the
Just like
interview.
he didn't get his job because he was the best person for it or the most educated. Okay, he needed his friends to help him get his job, messing with satellites and things. And what? I'm not even going there with you tonight. But it's good to see you, David. We kind of missed you, but we didn't. But thank you very much for joining us.
I just
Girl.
have to let Lynn do it. I just sit here. David, is there anything you'd like to know about aging? That's actually what our podcast is about, is aging and how women and sometimes men handle it. Men don't handle it very well. How are your glasses doing, David? I hear you're wearing those, or you're supposed to be wearing them, but you're not. There's a vanity thing involved, I think. Yes. Aaron, when you got your bifocals, you didn't handle it very well, did you? Yeah. Yeah. See, it didn't bother me at all when I got bifocals because I've been wearing glasses since I was 18 and I figure I need to see. So whatever you got to do, it's never been a vanity thing.
I'm supposed to wear bifocals. I wore them for a while and I broke them. Got another pair, broke those too. And I just got tired of buying new glasses and I haven't bought another pair. But guess what? I go to my eye exam every year and I just have the prescription. I haven't gotten a new pair of glasses yet. Just keep looking at the prescription saying, yeah, I think I need to go get some glasses, but
Are
haven't done it
you
yet.
nearsighted then? You're nearsighted.
Yes.
Okay. See, I'm nearsighted. Well, no, now because I wear bifocals, I'm not. I'm neither here nor there. Near or far.
Well, mine are bifocals too. So I can see certain things up close, but then when I'm driving, I can't see things far away when I'm driving.
So do you just have regular glasses then for when you're
Nope,
driving?
they're bifocals. No, I have the progressive lens.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't like them, so I don't wear them
I
because I don't think they correct my vision.
Well, you don't wear them, so how would you know?
Well, when I did wear them, I don't think I saw any better for real. I was like, I kept taking them down like this and putting them back up, and because I could see better without them than I could with them. I even took them back to the doctor and said, is this the right prescription for me? Because this doesn't seem to be working out. But he swore up and down I just needed to give it some time and give my eyes an opportunity to adjust to the bifocal. No, it didn't adjust. And so I don't wear them.
Well, what about getting two different pairs then? So maybe it's the bifocal part that you don't like. So you get one pair for distance and one pair for reading. No?
I never even considered that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Didn't you do that thing where they say, is it better like
Yeah.
this or better like this? Better
Yeah.
like this, better like
Yeah.
this, better like this, better like this, better like this. And it still didn't, no? Just still didn't work? Huh.
Well, I mean, that part was fine. It's just once the prescription was filled and put into the lens, it didn't work for me. It just didn't work for me. So I will often have to take the glasses off to read.
Okay.
You know, I put them on to see things that are far away. I could see that with the glasses on. But if I had to read something, I couldn't have the glasses on. I had to take them off. I couldn't see what I was reading.
So are you one of those that holds the menu like this when
No.
you're at a restaurant? You can read the menu okay? Oh.
Without the glasses.
Maybe your doctor was a quack and you didn't need glasses.
Man, with the glasses, I could not. Everything was like blurred together. It just didn't look right. Without the glasses, I could read it.
That's really strange.
Yeah. And I would wear the glasses to watch television because I needed them for that.
You just get a bigger TV.
It's huge. It's like 70 inches, but still, I needed glasses. And it's not that far away from the sofa. It's like, what is it? Like maybe 10, 12 feet from the sofa. It's not that far. It's like, I still need glasses.
And you still needed glasses.
I did. To see the television.
I'm sorry.
It's terrible.
What size is the TV we have in the living room, Aaron? 65? Yeah, we have a 65 inch, and I had to move the couch to the other side, the opposite wall, because it was too close, and it was just the people in 4K were just, it's too close. Just no. It was like sitting in the living room with people from 911 because and when
Oh
you
my
see
gosh.
when you see an open fracture, it's just like, damn. That's, wow, I can actually do the surgery now. That's how close I could see at the details of the television.
Oh my God.
And then
mind just
Aaron
went
would
somewhere.
come through the room, and there's this great big, like I said, one of the shows that I watch, and I usually record the whole season, and then I binge watch 911, and there's a lot of, I don't know, one episode had a pipe through somebody's forehead because they were on the freeway, and there was one of those trucks, a truck with a bunch of pipes, and they slammed on their brakes, and you knew it was coming because there's foreshadowing. The guy's talking on the phone, and they're showing him driving on the freeway, and then they show the truck, and then they go back to him, and then all of a sudden you see the brakes, and it's like, oh. But it's one of those things where you don't cover your eyes. You just can't blink because you know it's coming. And then all of a sudden the pipe just goes through the windshield and through the guy's head. But he's not dead. He is not dead. He is alive. And now they have to extract him from the vehicle. And I'm watching it and I can't blink. Like Aaron comes walking through because you have to walk through the house past the living room to get to the bedrooms or the bathroom. And he just about throws up every time. And I'm just sitting there eating popcorn, like not blinking. And he's like, what the hell are you watching? Oh, I'm just learning how to fix things. That's what I'm learning how to fix things because he says, well, I don't watch horror movies. I hate them. I cannot stand horror movies. But I will watch anything that has open wounds or they're doing surgery or something like, because it fascinates me. Because the doctors are going to fix it. And I want to see how the doctors fix it. So, it doesn't scare me. It doesn't bother me because I know they're going to fix it. And if they can't fix it, they'll bury it. So
I don't even understand the purpose of horror movies. I never have. I've never been one to watch them,
to
and
increase your
there's so many.
adrenaline.
I'm not an adrenaline junkie at
No,
all,
me
but
neither.
you ain't gotta scare me to death for me to, find excitement in life. Like it's just not my thing.
No,
So
me neither.
yeah, I've never been that person. So it's a lot of classic horror movies that I've just never watched ever.
Really?
But give me a good murder mystery
Oh,
or
yeah.
you know a hospital show like
Yep.
ER or something. Oh, I'm all for that. I watch that. But the murder, the no, not the horror movies. They're just too. I don't
No.
know. I
Yeah,
just
no.
I just never could get into it.
No. Mm-mm.
I don't like to be frightened. I don't find no joy in that.
No, I don't either. I don't enjoy it. I don't like it. Like why it's like bungee jumping. Why am I paying somebody to tie a rope to
Yeah,
my leg while I jump off a
yeah,
bridge? Are you crazy?
yeah. Why do you think I should trust you that much though? To
Right?
allow you to tie something around me and
No.
toss me off a bridge. Like, really? Like
Or
there's nothing else I can do
or
just to keep tempting God.
what's the other one? The where you go behind a boat and you get towed behind the boat on a pair of skis. Water
Oh, yeah,
skiing.
water
Why?
skis.
Well, I know my words are kind of, but why? Again, why am I being pulled behind a moving vehicle over water? Why?
No.
Why?
Why am I going to jump out of a perfectly good airplane?
Thank you. It will land in a minute.
What's the purpose?
I don't know.
I will land in a. Why am I going to get up there and put on a
I don't
parachute
know.
and
Is
jump out of a plane for what reason?
now
Just to see if I land?
have you always felt that way, or is this an age thing? Because
Always. I've always felt that way.
I don't know if some people get more cautious as they get older. I don't think
Yeah,
I've ever thought. I'm a logical thinker. So to me,
me too.
none of those things make sense. If you can make it make sense, I'll do it. But I don't understand the logic.
That's me.
If I want to put skis on my feet, I'll ski down a mountain. But
Yeah,
nobody's going to
I'll
be
go
pulling
skiing.
me. Nobody's pulling me. You start giving me a
No.
rope, and no, no. I don't know if it's from a past life or something, but there is no way you were either tying me to something and pulling me behind a boat. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm not. Why am I jumping out of an airplane in the sky? Do you have any idea how many people don't land safely? There are a lot.
And listen, I always seem to fall in the 1% of things that happen to people, aside from being a billionaire, of course. I don't fall into that 1%. But other than that, I am in the 1% of if it can happen to someone, I'm gonna be that person that it generally happens to. It's
Well,
like, okay,
we've already seen how my year is going. So, yeah, I'm not doing it. There's no way in hell. Not happening. No
yeah.
way. Nuh-uh. Nope. Mm-mm.
I don't like to tempt. I love my life, and I don't want to tempt fate to, to end it a little sooner than it needs to be ended. And there's what, 9 million ways to die. I don't need
Wasn't
to
that a
choose
movie?
one.
Wasn't that a movie?
I think it was a
Aaron,
song.
was that
I
a
don't know if it was a
movie?
movie or not.
9 million ways to die.
A Million Ways to Die in the Old West.
A million ways to die in the Old West. Didn't we see that movie? That was hilarious. If you have not seen that movie, you need to.
Not.
A
I
Million
didn't
Ways
even
to
know it
Die
was a
in the
movie.
West. Very funny movie. Very, very funny. From start to finish, you'll laugh the whole way. I guarantee it. It's very funny. Who wrote that? Seth MacFarlane. Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, I can imagine it being funny. He's
It was
funny.
very funny. It was very
I
funny.
can see him.
It was
Yeah,
kind
I
of
can
a
see
Mel
that.
Brooks kind of Western kind of comedy thing. Yeah. That's
Hmm.
what it was. It was very
I
funny.
can see that. That's funny.
Because I don't go to movies unless I'm going to laugh. I'm just not interested anymore. The other movies
Yeah,
that they
I
come
don't.
out with are stupid. Just all stupid.
Let me tell you, we went to the movies Saturday. Yeah, we went to see Captain America,
Okay.
and I must be old or inflation is really kicking my butt because we spent. Well, personally, I spent $75.
How many people did you take?
Well, this is the thing. I paid for myself. The children paid for themselves.
Hmm.
I bought the popcorn and drinks and all that stuff, right? Um, and by the time we did all of that, that's why the bill was $75 because I spent like $60 um, on just popcorn and drinks for one, two, three,
Rena saw
four
it.
people.
Rena is listening. Hi, Rena. We don't. The
I
the only time we go to a movie now is when we go to if Aaron has points at the casino, and we get a free movie for as many people as we need to take. Um, so you get points when you're gambling.
oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he'll save up the points, and then we have a handler that'll call and say, "Hey, do you want to go see a movie?" We say, "Sure." I never go because for me, movies have always been his thing. It's if he takes the kids to a movie, even now, they'll all go to a movie together, and I'll stay home because that's the only time I'm ever alone at home.
Right.
So if I have an
Yeah.
option
That
to
makes sense.
stay at home by myself or go and sit in a movie and watch a stupid movie, I'm gonna stay home. And then I'll
Yep.
probably, I don't
I
know,
don't blame
jump
you.
on the couch and turn the music up really loud and just pretend that I'm me again. I'm Raquel instead of the wife, the mom, all of that stuff. Every once in a while you gotta
I
do
am
it.
looking forward to that day. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to the day of finding out who I am without all the other people,
Tell your
without all the
husband
other
to
titles.
take your children to a movie so you can stay home and not do
He
anything.
takes them out and stuff, but I'm still on. Even when he takes them out, it's hard for me to separate myself from mom duty. Like I use that time to do things around the house that I wouldn't normally get a chance to do. Um,
Okay.
and not I don't use the time for me personally. Like I have to go away from the home to have my personal time.
Okay.
I can't do it at home. Yeah,
Okay.
because the home just makes me do more things that are about the home. You
I
know,
get it.
prepping for the next thing.
I used to do
So
that
yeah.
too. I mean, you still have yeah, your kids are spread. So that was one of the reasons I had all mine together so that when they were done, they were all done. So there is, I mean, that's a silver lining right there. There is I promise you will get to the point where you can do that. You'll wake up one day and say, "Hey, hey, I don't have to do that today." Like I have no idea when spring break is anymore.
Now,
Is
I
it
don't
now?
either, and mainly because the kids are homeschooled.
Okay.
And they don't generally like get spring break. They get like a break. Their breaks are not just because it's spring. Like they get these moments throughout the year where they just don't have a class or two. But only reason I knew this year it was so crazy because the the boys are in college, so I'm looking at the college spring break,
Right.
which is always earlier than everyone else's spring break. So I was like, oh, it's spring break. It came early this year, not realizing that no, everybody else's spring break is in April. And I was just like, oh, okay. So I guess now I'm in the process of like two spring breaks, I guess. But I have to look at the regular school system to see when it is because I don't ever know.
So they'll get an Easter break then? The two older ones?
Yeah, we do the Easter thing, but again, see, like the kids don't have school on Fridays, and they have like these breaks when no one else is breaking. They'll have a break from their classes
Okay.
because like their classes will end and it's time to start something else. So
Right.
they'll get a break when no one else is on a break. So I don't look at it as a spring break for them because they've already gotten so many breaks, in between that time frame.
Okay.
So, we'll do Easter something, but I don't go we don't try to plan trips and stuff around spring break anymore because of that. It's like, we can go whenever we feel like it. We can travel whenever we want to. So it's not a thing for us anymore.
Aaron and I actually learned that lesson the hard way, didn't we, Aaron? The difference between a college spring break and an elementary school break. We went to South Padre one year. We went to South Padre one year with the kids. They were on spring break. And I guess the college spring break was just over, so it was like there was a 2-day lap, and we didn't know. Aaron went on a hockey tournament, so we went with him, and we were on the bridge going to South Padre, and there was only 2 lanes on this bridge, and on the way coming on the bridge coming off of the island, we were going onto the island, and then there were people coming off. There were convertibles and everything, and there were people sitting in the convertibles, and they had beads on. And some of the ladies that were sitting on the convertibles also had no tops on with a lot of beads. Because standing through the sunroof and everything, because that's how you get the beads, right? I mean, there's no difference between South Padre and New Orleans apparently during spring break. And so Aaron and I had to explain to our kids why she didn't have a shirt on and had beads, or what was going on, and why people were honking their horns, and how come we can see that, Mommy? Why does she not have a shirt on? She should have a shirt on. Sasha, I remember being very concerned that they were going to get sunburned, and it was just, we learned that the hard way. We never went back to South Padre during spring break. However, I think that was one of the first. I think we'd been in Texas for maybe two years at that time, maybe 3. So it was pretty early on, but yeah.
I couldn't imagine having to explain that to Ryan.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, I can talk real fast and come up with a really good story. I think Tegan is going to therapy now, and I'm not sure exactly what she's talking about in therapy, but I'm pretty sure it's got a lot to do with me and some of the things I may have or may not have told her while she was growing up, or her bear. We did talk about Heathrow on one of the podcasts and my parenting with the bear. So yeah, she's now in therapy. I hope it helps to undo all the stuff that I did.
I am an advocate for therapy. I really am. I think it never helped me, but I advocate for it. But I hope that if my kids have to end up in therapy, it is not a product of anything that I may or may not have done. I do not want to be the topic of that discussion, okay?
The funny part is I'm fully aware of it and I can admit it. It's not, I didn't do anything bad. That's not why she's in therapy. I'm from Irish Australians, and that means that when my children and also before Google. So when my kids would ask me something, you have 4 kids, you know how it works. They don't stop until you tell them something. And sometimes I had to think real fast on my feet. And I had to come up with something that would make them stop asking because they would drive me crazy. I mean, there's 4 of them that were only 3.5 years apart. So there was sometimes when I would just tell them whatever it was to make them quiet. I may not have told the truth all the time, but there was always a basis of truth. I just expanded a little bit.
But not to the point that it would send them to therapy, okay?
No, she's not going to therapy
Okay.
because of me. I don't know if I'm the topic. I don't actually think that I am a topic of her therapy. Now, the other ones maybe, but not Tegan. I think Tegan gets me. So I don't think I did anything there, but I could be wrong. I don't know. You'd be surprised. Apparently, children remember things differently than their parents do. And you know that if you've ever talked to your parents. They seem to remember things completely differently than what you remember them. So I'm
Absolutely.
assuming that probably happened with us as well. I don't know. I mean, we've always had a very open communication, though. So if there is an issue now about something that maybe they weren't happy with, we do talk about it. So I don't think that's what it is. We're pretty open, like extremely open. Like we are the family who sits at dinner and has those conversations at dinner. You know, like how was your day? What do you want to talk about? Kind of thing, like a podcast. We talk about everything. There is no subject that
Well,
has been untouched.
I can say that I have that communication with the older two.
Yeah, but not the younger
The
two.
younger two, well, they haven't really gotten there
It'll get
yet.
there.
Like Lauren and I, we talk about a lot of stuff. Ryan is still too far. He's too self-absorbed right now. It's Ryan's world. He don't care about nothing else that's going on except for what's going on with him. Lauren and I, we do have more conversations. But I see, I'm that mom that I don't handicap things.
Yeah.
I don't sugarcoat it, make
Nope.
it all nice and palatable.
This is why I'm
I just
saying my
give it.
kids may be going to therapy because of me, because I
Yeah,
didn't do it
I,
either.
I just give it to them
Yep.
straight, no chaser.
Yep.
You know, it's just what it is. I got that from my mother. My
Yep.
mother has always been very open and direct, and no matter what your age is, if you ask the question, you're gonna get the answer.
Yeah.
And that's just, I don't know. That's a good thing and a bad thing, I guess. But
Yeah.
what it has done for me and the boys is that they do tell me a lot.
Yeah.
I can't say they tell me everything, but I can say some of the things they tell me, I don't know if I wanted to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I'm glad you feel like you can tell me. I'm so glad that you feel so safe and open and you just know there's no judgment here and you can tell me things. But some things we need to understand that you can keep it to yourself.
Yeah, but you don't necessarily want to tell them that, because if you do, then it could cut off that line of communication. So it's more of a
Right.
mommy needs to learn to tune things out when they're talking so you don't hear it. You
I do.
So
Like la 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 la.
yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. I do.
Or I call my sister and tell her my ears are bleeding, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, which one is it now?"
Yeah.
It's like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, because like
Yeah.
I could never tell my mom or daddy half the things that my kids tell me.
Yeah, but I think that's a generational thing. I mean, you have to remember, and Aaron and I were talking about this the other day. We come from the generation of the last generation of children should be seen and not heard.
Yeah,
And I can't
absolutely.
tell you how many times I heard that growing up. And yet now my kids want to know everything, and they seem
Everything.
involved in everything. And it gets a little overwhelming sometimes, because I feel like sometimes now I'm the one who's being judged, and it's a little uncomfortable. It's like, well, that's, because you've got kids who are Googling everything, and it's a different time. So if I say something that I think is funny, and most of the people I know would think it was funny, all of a sudden my kids are sitting there going, "Mom, you can't say that." I'm like, "What do you mean I can't say that?" "Well, you can't." I'm like, "But that's not what I," and they'll tell me, and I'll say, "Well, that's not what I meant at all. And that's not what I meant." And they're like, "Well," I'm like, "Well, I think maybe you're taking it up a level that I was not." And I'm not talking about anything like really bad or anything racial, just things,
Right.
general things that, I mean,
Yeah.
half of the things that you and I talk about, my kids would be like, "Mom, what are you doing? Why are you talking about that?" Well, why not? Why are we not talking about this,
Absolutely.
Sometimes I do feel like my kids are a little bit more judgmental than I am. And if I were to turn it around, they would be very shocked at what I could judge them on, and I don't. So maybe they need to stop. But I think that's just part of the whole growing process. And I don't know, maybe I'm getting more. I'm turning into that old lady that maybe just I shouldn't say some things that I say
Girl,
because I don't care.
listen.
I don't
Listen,
care.
I'm surrounded by older ladies that the things that they say, I still like get
You blush and
okay,
you're
wait.
shocked,
Yes,
right?
between my mother and my aunts and my sisters, because my sisters are considerably older than me. And the stuff they talk about, I'm just like, and this they could be loud and just out in public and just really talking about these things like we're in the privacy of our own homes, and we're not, and they're just talking, and I'm just like, y'all need to chill out. Like, we can't say that out here. They're like, girl, ain't nobody thinking about us, and da 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 da. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Okay, so maybe
Oh my
maybe this
god.
is how it starts. I'm just at the entry level. I'm at the entry level.
That's what I think. Yeah, yeah.
You're
We're
just as
definitely at
bad
the
though,
entry level.
because some of the conversations we've had, I know that if any of my four kids were to walk in or read some of this stuff on our messenger, they'd be like, "Mom, oh my God, you
You
can't
know
say
what?
that."
You know what's so funny? My sister, she asked me, she was like, so is this an open, talking about the podcast, is this an open conversation or are you censoring yourself? And I was like, it's a little bit of both because I do censor myself
Oh,
a
I do
lot.
too. Believe it or not, I actually do. Yes.
I believe it. I can tell when you're censoring yourself. And I'm just like, I want to say this, but I
Yep.
know we're in
I
mixed
know.
company. Like my
Yep.
parents used to say, we're in mixed company. You can't
Yep.
do that or say that.
Yep.
But I'm like, sometimes I just want to say it and be done with it. And then I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I can't do that. And then I listen to other people's podcasts though, and I'm like, oh, they said it.
We could have said
Maybe
that.
I can.
I know. I've done that too. I'm like, okay, so we could have said that. And we could have got away with that. And I could have been a little bit more, a little bit more extra or, because I'm not usually this restrained, but we're very new, so we will get there. We will
Yeah.
get to the point where we can say whatever the hell we want to, but we're not there yet. So not there yet. Not yet. We'll get there. We will get there.
Oh,
I think
gosh.
some of the ones that you have to subscribe to their channel, those ones I think are a little bit more, because people are
Yeah.
paying to be there and they want you to be totally honest. What did Rena
Yeah.
say? My goal is to break my
My
censor
goodness.
button permanently. I think we'll get there, Rena. I really do. I mean, I know I can't have Rena call in because if Rena calls in, then we're all done. Because she's worse than
You
I
know what?
am.
I was thinking I would love to have her as a third co-host on the show one day.
We can do that.
I would love to just I
We
would
can do
just
that.
love to have her join us and
We
like
could do that.
just
She has
a
two
conversation.
boys. Her youngest just graduated. We were pregnant together, I think, with who were we pregnant together with, Rena? Was it Rory? I think it was Rory. Um, her oldest is in between the twins and Rory, and then I believe we were both pregnant at the same time when she had her youngest. I had Rory first, and then she had her son after that. But she's a boy mom, so she gets it. I think I think when you're a boy mom, you have to be a certain kind of mom, and we're very different. We are not. There are women that are girl moms, and there are women who have both, like it's even. And then there are women who are boy moms, and we are a very different type of mom. I think we're a little
We
bit
are.
more maybe open, maybe a little bit more empathetic, a little bit more understanding, not as judgmental. Because if we were,
Yeah.
holy shit, the stuff that, what was that one, Aaron? I didn't see that one. Oh, Robert Vidya is back. Pokemon song. I want to be the very best. We missed you, Robert. He's been bugging me, asking me when we're going to do our podcast again. That would be so fun. Rory and Aiden are the ones. Yes. Okay. So she would be an awesome person to be an extra when we do an extra show. So we'll have to arrange that. I think when it gets a little warmer and when I'm not dealing with
Yeah.
the issues that I'm dealing with right now, because it's just a lot. It's just a lot.
Hi, Robert. Sorry, I was in the zone.
It's nice to know you're watching, though, Robert. How is Texas treating you? How's that governor of yours down there? Oh, what's he saying? Miss you both. Yeah, we missed you too.
Oh, we miss
Between
you.
you and Colmeyer, it's just been very quiet lately. The two of you should
Yes.
meet, really. You and David Colmeyer should both do a podcast together. It would be wonderful.
Oh, that would be
It would
interesting.
be fantastic. It would all be about Trump, yes, and that would. I mean, you know what? Where would we be if
That's
everybody
okay.
if everybody thought the same? Where would we be?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're watching
Yeah, you know.
the greatest show on the internet. All right, here we go.
I
Go
know.
Vegas Live.
Oh, really?
I know.
Aaron, you should try to put something together for them. You should
Yeah.
do that coast to
Should do
coast
that.
thing or state to state thing with them. That would be cool.
I think that there are in 2025 there are people that I know I don't talk to because they are obnoxious about their support of certain people and they are not very nice. But there are also, I do have people in my life that support that other person and they are not as horrible. And Robert Vidya, I made Texas State Guard history. Okay. I don't know what that means.
I mean,
Yay!
the dots. I don't know whether to say congratulations or
Right.
what did you do.
Yeah. Yeah, what'd you do?
It could go either way.
What happened? I'm feeling a little judgy here,
It's
Robert.
okay.
Tell me what happened before I go down
We're
that
waiting
rabbit
for the
hole.
shoe to drop.
Anyway, there are some people in my circle that I do still communicate with and spend time with and talk to that do not politically agree with me. I don't agree with them, but I have the ability to have that conversation, and Robert is one of them. I'll send video WhatsApp. Oh, okay. Send it to Aaron. I don't do WhatsApp. I don't know how.
You know, I think I know I have some, and this may sound like an oxymoron, but I have some intelligent Trump supporters. I really do.
I do
I
too.
have some that are friends or
I
in
don't
my
underst-
family.
I don't understand, but yes, I do too. I do as well.
I can't, and let me tell you, and I'm gonna say that I understand why they support him. I do, because some people have tunnel vision in their support of things in general, right?
Right.
And so they support what impacts them. They only see the good parts that they need to pull from whatever it is he's doing.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
They're not concerned with how anything impacts others.
Okay.
So I guess you can call that a little self-centered,
Mm-hmm.
but at the end of the day, they're only concerned with how things that are done impact them. And I'm going to tell you, I saw it come back to one of them recently because they are being directly impacted from some of these layoffs
I'm
or
sorry.
firings or whatever you're
Yeah.
calling them. They're being directly impacted by it.
Yeah.
And their response is a mistake has been made.
Okay.
I should not have been a part of that.
Okay.
I do still support what he's doing. I just think he's rushing and not doing it in a measured way. You see
Okay.
how they did that? See how they
Yep.
framed that?
Yep.
So
That's actually I've heard that before. I have heard that before.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's okay that it touched you. You just realize that, okay, it shouldn't have touched me. Not that it shouldn't have touched none of these people.
Yeah.
It just shouldn't have touched you.
Right.
to, to hell with everybody else. Look, I'm just worried about myself right now. So that's the mentality behind it.
Trump
And so I can
2028.
understand.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Well, I mean, if he has it his way, Robert, he's going to be the king of the United States. So you can stop with the voting thing because that's going to be coming to an end if he has his way. We're never going to vote again. He's already said it several times. We're never going to vote again. His family is going to be the new hierarchy of the United States, and he's going to be forever the dictator of the what was known the free world, but won't be that anymore. It's okay. We get it. You don't have to keep, saying Trump, whatever. We know. He's going to stay forever. Anywho, that's his point.
You see,
But I get it. I get that some people they have tunnel vision when supporting him, and that's okay. That is okay. I don't have tunnel vision for supporting anything or anyone because people will always let you down. People will always do what's best for them at some point in time. People will do what's least expected. Look at the number of marriages in the United States that end in divorce, and they're like, oh, I thought he was something, or I thought she was this way. And
yeah.
you had high expectations for somebody that you shouldn't have had expectations on anyway, because people will change. Look at the number of murder suicides that are happening in this country because we had an expectation that they were going to behave and act a certain way, and they did not do that. So at the end of the day, you can't trust people. I don't follow down behind things, and
No.
it is what it is.
I think it all comes down to from my perspective, it all comes down to why you are voting, for who you're voting. And now, see, I'm trying really hard to choose my words. You have to, just because somebody doesn't vote for the same reasons that I do, maybe doesn't mean that they are wrong. I think it just depends on your personal situation, maybe is the word I'm looking for. I agree with what you're saying. It makes a lot of sense to me, because I have heard it. I had a conversation with somebody about the women's issue. How could you support someone who does this to women, or wants this to happen to women, or take this away from women? How can you support that? And they just looked at me blankly and they said, well, I'm not a woman, so it doesn't affect me. And in my head, I'm sitting there thinking, okay, but you have a mom, you have a sister, you have a niece, you have a granddaughter, you have a girlfriend or a wife, you have women in your circle, and it will affect those women. You have daughters If you, but then I have to stop myself because that's my logic. That's how I
Yes.
think.
Yep.
Right there. See? And that right
Because you
there.
care more about people beyond
Exactly.
yourself.
And that's why you have to take that step back, and you have to just sort of be like, okay, you got to take my logic out of the equation and just accept. Rena says that was Phil's response. Yes, but Phil is married to you. You're a woman, therefore. See, and that's just my logic. It Everything that I do from the minute I wake up in the morning until I go to bed at night is thought based. It's educated. It's education based. It's faith based. Everything that I do revolves around those three things. So when I wake up in the morning, I don't wake up in the morning thinking, what am I going to do today for me? I'm going to
Right.
make a cup of coffee for me. No, I make a pot. I make a pot of coffee
Yep.
because I have several people in the house that are going to be getting up after me, and they're going to want coffee. So
Absolutely.
my choice is I can make coffee. I can make a single cup with a Keurig pod, or I can make a pot of coffee and share it with those that I love. Those are my choices. Now, just because I chose not to have the pod and just satisfy myself does not necessarily mean that every single person in this country or any other country around the world is going to get up and do the same thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's my logic right there.
Yep.
I can't explain it in any other way to make it make sense. I do everything based on how it's going to affect other people, not just me. I'm half naked doing midlife mischief? Huh? I should have said Robert is half naked, not me. I'm not saying
Do not
I am.
read into that. Don't read into that, because reading between his lines.
Yeah, I
No,
have
don't
full
read it.
clothes on. Does that make sense to you? Like, maybe that's because I'm a
It does.
mom. I'm a mom, and I
No,
take that very
no.
seriously. I was raised
It's
by,
because
like, I come from,
it's because you care about more than just yourself.
well, see, I
That's
come
that's
from,
that's the basis of it.
in Australia, they used to have, like, you couldn't go into a pub. And if you were a woman, you couldn't sit in the same pub space as the men. There are signs where it says Sheilas and mates, and the mates go that way and the Sheilas go that way. You could never, the twain would meet. So if you went out at nighttime, you were being separated. Men over here, women over there. I come from people who left. One of the reasons they left Australia was because they didn't want that anymore. And I come from a mother who fought really hard so that I wouldn't have to do the things that she had to do. I would have more choices. I come from a father who was a teacher and very educated and has he went to school many times. When he didn't know something, he'd go back to school, and he's very educated, very highly educated, and he made sure that all four of his children knew how to do everything. My sister and I learned how to do the things that my brothers knew how to do. My brothers learned how to do the things that my sister and I learned how to do. We learned how to do everything that each other could do so that we were equal. I was raised that way. I was taught that I could do anything and I could be anything I wanted as long as I learned. Never stop learning. That's what I was taught. And I haven't. It's one of the things that I do every New Year's Eve is I sit down and I think, what am I going to learn this year? I have a bucket list of all the things I want to learn how to do. And I get made fun of, and it's hurtful, but I don't really care. I get made fun of because I learned how to make bread. I learned how to knit. I learned how to do the skills that my grandmother knew, that my great grandmother knew, that they were taught for generations to survive. I learned those things because those are things that are dying now. They've been taken out of our schools. They've been taken away. If I don't learn those things, I can't teach my children those things who are now adults. I can't teach them those things. I can't set an example for my children. And everything that I do from the minute I wake up till when I go to bed is setting an example for the people that I grew and that I taught and educated and that I love. So to me, that's where all of that comes in. But I have to accept that some people don't do that. That's a lot. You know, maybe people don't think that much when they get up in the morning. They just get dressed and they pour a cup of coffee and they go to their boring little work job. Maybe that's what they do. I don't know. That's their choice. I can't judge them for that because I know what it's like to be judged for the things that I do. So I don't do that. But just because I don't do it doesn't mean everybody else doesn't do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, and also, I mean, just to piggyback on that, you also have to know and recognize that there are people that wake up knowing that there are other people in the house and will still proceed to make that one cup of coffee just for them.
Exactly.
Because they're not concerned
Yep.
with other people in the house. Their mindset is, I'm going to get mine, you have to get yours.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
and they don't look at it as they're not keeping those people from making coffee.
Yeah.
They're not keeping them from making a coffee. They're just saying, I'm not going to help you along the way. I'm not going to give you the boost. I'm not going to help you and give you a cup of coffee. You have to do exactly what I did. And you have to go through the same motions I went through because nobody did it for me. So I'm not going to do it for you. And that doesn't necessarily have to be true, but that's how they view themselves and the world. And I just think a lot of people who are on this Republican train right now that are fully supporting this administration are all about themselves and no one else. It's a dog eat dog world for them. It's survival of the fittest for them. And I honestly see that definitely with the billionaires and the millionaires that are supporting, because they only care about their money, their interest, what they're doing.
Yeah.
They can list 10,000 charities that they've given money to, but guess what? You didn't give it because you believed in a charity. You didn't give it to help. You gave it because you wanted a write-off. Let's be honest about it, right? Because if you really wanted to help people, you wouldn't be supporting someone who is going completely against helping the masses. They're only helping themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, and like I said, I have some really intelligent Trump supporters that I am friends with, I am related to, and I get it. I get it. That's just not who I am.
That's 100% my husband, Rena said. Yeah. I have people like that too. And I think you just have to, that's what you have to do. You have to get your head around it and you have to accept it and you have to just keep doing what you do. And in my case, you know what? It's a lot of it is faith-based and it's age. I am at the age where, okay, there's an acceptance level. It doesn't mean I'm compliant. It doesn't mean that I'm weak. It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that I agree with it. It means that I have empathy and I also believe very strongly in what I believe. And sometimes it's going to have to be enough. because it just, I have learned the hard way that fighting it is not going to help. It's not going to do anything. It's just going to irritate and make everybody angry. I don't think it's working. It's not working. The fighting and the arguing is not working. I think there has to be a little bit more empathy. There has to be a little bit more listening, and there has to be a little bit more conversation, I think, because we cannot learn by example. That's not working. And we have to figure out how we can do it on our own by leading by example in our own little communities, and maybe start small, like from the ground up. You've taught your kids, and your kids are going to, I know that you've got younger ones and maybe you don't see it right now, but I know that all those times when I didn't think my kids were listening, they were. And I've seen it when they're out in public, and I've seen I've seen my kids stand up for people who were being treated wrong, and they did it at their own I was terrified. In some cases, I've seen them do it where they will just stand in front of somebody and say, "No, you can't do this. This is wrong." And my heart, I was like the Grinch. It grew 10 sizes when that happened, because all I could think of, there, I did that. That was me. That was my little part. I taught him to do that. And I was so proud. And it may not make a difference to some people, but to that one person that he stood up for that one day, she won't forget it. And my other kids have done the same thing, and those people won't forget it either. And maybe it's a chain reaction, and maybe, I mean, you and I think the same way, and it brought us together. Now we're just a happy Oreo cookie. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Listen, I firmly believe that many of us have more in common than we have that, differences. I think if we sat down and just talked to one another, we would find that there's a lot of common ground between people.
If we were all the same, can you imagine how boring that would be? Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But listen, I was telling my sister the other day, I do think that this whole era that we're in politically is necessary.
Okay.
I think it's necessary for right now. I think it's necessary because I think as a country, we got complacent. I think we got into this rhythm of, okay, the Democrats do this, okay, the Republicans do this, and it was just a cycle that just kept spinning. And of course, you have little small disagreements, but that's what they were. They were small disagreements, but we weren't seeing the overall impact that we needed to have.
Wow.
Thank
Robert
you, Robert.
Says he loves
that
your
we needed
smile.
to have. Thank you. That we needed to have for everyone. There were people that were being left out of the narrative. I do understand that.
Yeah.
I do know that there were a lot of people that felt disenfranchised and that weren't being heard and that weren't being served by the general population as well as the administrations that have come before this. So I get that. I understand that. I accept that. I do think that this is a necessary cleanse of political rhetoric that needs to go away.
Yeah.
I think after we get through this horrendous time that we're currently in, I think we're going to rebuild, restructure, and the endeavors and the mission for the country will change. And I think that's necessary. But you can't get to the good without first going through the bad.
Amen.
And so if you look back on history, every war that we've had elevated the country to another level of understanding, another level of commitment to its citizens. And it's unfortunate that we had to go through those things to get to that point. But throughout world history, that is the way change has come about, through turmoil and destruction and reconstruction. So I just feel like this is our moment in our lifetimes. I wish it wasn't here. I wish we didn't have to endure it. But listen, our parents endured it. Their parents endured it. It's our turn. Gen X we did not go through anything major except for 9/11.
Yeah.
That was the most major thing that we've gone through,
Yeah.
and I just think that it's just our time to change. And we're going to change United States and we're going to change the world. But we have to go through this moment. And we just need to disagree peacefully as much as possible.
Yeah. I agree with that. I don't want any war kind of thing, but I mean, I
Girl,
agree.
please, you know that's happening. You know that's going to happen.
That's another subject that's very, very, very tricky for me.
Girl, listen. He has alienated all of our friends. He's alienated all of our friends. We have no friends. We're sitting out here by ourselves.
I know.
They all sitting in a corner drinking and talking about how they're gonna gang up on us.
Oklahoma bombing. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I mean, we've had like some things, but that
Centennial
wasn't.
Park.
No, I'm talking about. I'm talking about political things that encompasses other countries and other entities. I'm not talking about homegrown terrorism and stuff that's happening within our own walls.
Yeah.
This is going to be the first time in our generation that we're going to outside. I said outside of 9/11. I started with that. I said outside of 9/11. This is going to be our moment of change. And 9/11 only really changed the way we police ourselves. It didn't really change the way we conduct our government or our administrations. That part didn't really change for us. It's only been how we police ourselves with adding all the restrictions to travel and people coming in and out of the country and immigration and stuff. So
it did change religion in the United States from an outside perspective, because I remember the twins were not even, well, they had born in July of 2001, so they were only like what, July, August, September, October, 3 months old, maybe.
Yep.
Very
3
small.
months.
It did change. It did change the religious aspect in the United States. What it did was, before that, I don't know. Maybe if you lived here, you didn't notice it. But if you didn't live here, you did notice it. Yeah, I'm not getting into any conspiracy theories, Robert. Stop it. Before that, the United States was very separated when it came to religion. It was something that was kept very quiet. It was not in the forefront. It didn't dictate anybody's actions. It was just something people did on a Sunday or a Saturday. It was what it was. When 9/11 happened, it did bring a faith to this country that had not been there before. And it was, in the beginning, it was very moving to see, from an outside perspective, the people coming together and supporting each other in a way that was faith based instead of politically based. However, now that is coming back to, I don't know what's happening now, because now we're at the same place, but this time religion is dictating everything and the way everything is happening. And I don't know. I think you're right. I think that we're going to have to do something all over the world in order for things to change, because it's not going the direction it should be. That's for sure. The fundamentalism grew at an astonishing. Yeah, it's not the mainstream religions. It's the nationalist religions. It's the big ones. They've been, like Rena just said, from an outside perspective, we have seen that. It's the fundamentalism And that is not necessarily a good thing. It started that way because it brought everyone together. It gave everyone something to believe in, and it looked like it was going to be a good thing. And now I don't even know how you deal with something like what's going on now in that respect. I mean, you're married to a pastor. You'd know better than I would, but I that's one thing that changed, and I don't know how to unchange that part. So we'll see.
To be honest
see how
with
that
you,
goes.
I don't even think the faith-based community actually knows how to change that part. I think when you're thrown into situations like that,
What does that mean,
you
Robert?
kind of let it work itself out.
What does that mean?
Robert is just
What did he just say, Lynn? I don't speak
he is.
that.
Let me see what that means because he is doing the most today.
Well, yeah, he missed us.
You hear the rain on your end from my house? 'Cause, like, it is really loud.
No.
It's like loud. Like, why is it
On
so
our
loud?
end or your end?
On my end, it's raining here, but it sounds like it's trying to come through the house. It's so loud.
Is it rain? It is raining here a little bit. Looks like it anyway. I can see the driveway.
Oh, he was saying God wills it. That's a Latin phrase meaning God wills it. I had to look up his thing. Zeus
Okay,
vote.
Oh,
God wills it.
maybe.
He's trying to show us that he's intellectual. That's all.
Yeah, he's trying.
Oh my gosh.
If God wills it. Okay,
God
you're a
wills
little bit late to the party there, Robert. We already figured we Googled it. See?
Yes.
However, I did just look at the time, and I guess we've done it again. Gone and done it again.
As always, we're just making up for lost time. That's all.
I know.
All right, so before we go, tell me.
It's raining liberal tears. No. I'm not a.
I am not a liberal.
I'm not a liberal either, and I'm not a crier. So
I am not a liberal.
I don't know.
Don't give me no tag lines. Don't label me. I am not a liberal.
Nope.
But anywho, listen. Tell me what's going on your calendar for
this week. I have to study.
Yes.
I've got to learn this. I've got to learn this whole TikTok thing. TikTok, what is agency thing? Because we're supposed to write an exam this week, so I'll be spending my week learning that. Plus, there's a few things that I have to do. Again, pertaining to the thing that we can't talk about. I have to do that Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And hopefully that will get better. I hope.
Oh, look at all of your St. Patrick's Day stuff.
I just noticed that.
That is cute. He never showed it before. He didn't zoom out so we could see. Yeah. That's cute.
Believe it or not, that's all I have. Tomorrow I will be making happy St. Patrick's Day for tomorrow, Slancha. That's the only thing I have is these things, because other than that, it's just music. So there will be a lot of Celtic music in our house tomorrow. Some Guinness, some loud music jumping around. Well, not me. I'll listen. I'll have to listen. I can't jump around this year. I'll have to keep it on the ground. Sad. But and maybe some stew. I think I'll make some stew.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what kind of stew would you make?
Do you want my recipe for that too? Irish stew. I make a really good Irish stew. It's a recipe that goes all the way back. See, now I want to get up and dance, and I can't. However, I don't think there's We've got podcasts going on this week. We're doing some training with a new person who's going to be doing some podcasting. And anybody who wants to do a podcast can call. If you call Aaron's number, go to our website, and the phone number and the email and all that information is on there. I think it's.
I really think Robert and David should do one.
Yeah, I think they should. I know that David does a podcast in a different place. He used to do one here, but apparently he doesn't like coming to the hood, so he doesn't do it here anymore. We are not classy enough in our neighborhood for him to come down here.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because I live in the hood. Whatever. I live in a part of the city where we're in the city. We are in the city. If we were to show you a camera outside, you would see the Strat, and the Strip. If you look outside our house, so and that's the way I like it. I don't like the suburbs. I hate them. I break out in hives every time I go to the suburbs. I hate it. Ugh. No. So I think that's it for me.
Well,
what about you? Oh, our anniversary is coming up. Is that next week? No, we've still got another week. Do we have another
how many years?
10 days is our anniversary. No, 11 days. 26 years this year.
Wow. Congratulations.
After only dating for 3 months. That's pretty good, I think.
That's very good.
Huh? I'm stuck with you? Well, that's because we got married in two different countries. Thank you, Rena. I love my house too. I wouldn't have it any other way. I love where I live. I love the people in my neighborhood. I love to watch the police sirens going down and the police going down the street all the time. It makes me feel safe. It's okay. We live in a great neighborhood, and we are safer than some of the people in the gated communities. So I like where we are. We're fine. Okay, we have to say goodnight now, Gracie. All right, good night. Fine. I will see you, Lynn, next week at our proper time.
Thank you for waiting for me. I appreciate it.
Of course. Not a problem, Robert. I'm outside your window. Well, that's interesting because I'm in the studio and there are no windows. And what the hell are you doing in Vegas? You're supposed to be in Texas, Robert. Wow. You know why the two of them should do a podcast? Because they're both police officers. Robert and David, both police officers. Yeah. That's why. That explains it, doesn't it? It says a lot. They have a lot in common, so they should get together and do a podcast. From Texas to Nevada and beyond. Wherever. Right? Okay. We're fading now.
All right. Good night.